What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is day 8 of the 3rd annual 10 Days of Pumpkin here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today comes from the Boston Beer Company, aka Samuel Adams, and they are out of Boston, Massachusetts. And this is their Jack O Pumpkin Ale. So this is a pumpkin ale that is brewed with real pumpkins, cinnamon, and nutmeg. It comes in at 4.4% alcohol by volume, 8 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is approximately 3 weeks old. So before I get in the review, I want to mention a few things real quickly. Number one, I tried to figure out the exact ingredients of this beer when it comes to like the pumpkin portion of it. On their website, they say that this has aromas of cinnamon and nutmeg. It says it on the back here too. It says Jack O's cinnamon and nutmeg aromas recall memories of freshly baked pumpkin pie. It has the ideal balance of seasonal spices with a crisp, refreshing finish. This pumpkin ale pairs perfectly with the transition of summer into cooler days and nights. So on their website, they don't list it. They list like the hops, the malts, and whatnot, but they don't list if the exact seasonal spices. I'm thinking cinnamon and nutmeg since they mention it. This is brewed, I believe, with real pumpkins. And another thing on the website was they listed this as a shandy/pumpkin ale. Now, I don't know if they're brewing this with like fruit juice. Are they using pumpkin juice? I have no idea. Usually with a shandy or a radler, you're using some kind of fruit juice or like soda pop or something. So that was weird that they said shandy/pumpkin ale on the website, but whatever. So yeah, 4.4%, one of the lower ABVs when it comes to pumpkin ale. Maybe that's where the shandy thing comes in, 8 IBUs. Kind of low too, but we should be fine. Anyway, let's crack this one open. I just want to mention that because I thought it was weird that I couldn't find the exact ingredients listed, but they listed, the malts, the hops, their yeast, all that stuff, and it's just like, where's the spices? But I'm thinking cinnamon, nutmeg. Anyway, let's pour this in glass. Now, one thing about Samuel Adams is this is like the 4th pumpkin beer that I can remember trying from them like over the last 7 or 8 years. The first one I ever had from them was their Fat Jack. It was an Imperial Pumpkin Ale, came in a big 22-ounce bomber. Then after that, they had their Pumpkin Harvest Ale, and then they had their 20 pounds of pumpkin. So I don't know if this is like a retweaked version of one of those beers. My favorite was Fat Jack. I mean, Imperial Pumpkin Ales are my favorite. They just bring the flavor typically. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird that this is like the 4th pumpkin beer that they've released in the last like 8 years. Anyway, tons of carbonation. This has, the etching at the bottom produces the carbonation. I don't know how it's going to come off on camera, but this is a bit lighter. This honestly looks like a light amber ale. Doesn't have like that copperish kind of color that's, orange kind of color that a pumpkin ale typically has. Had about a finger of this bright white head that is now dissipated into a thin film. Yeah, it looks kind of lighter for pumpkin ale, but whatever. Let's get a nose. Oh yeah, so definitely pumpkin pie. I'm getting the nutmeg big time. Cinnamon's there. Maybe a little bit of like a ginger spice as well. This smells, and I've mentioned this so many times on pumpkin reviews on my channel, but this smells like the actual pumpkin pie filling you use in a pumpkin pie. This doesn't to me to have the graham cracker. It has just the pumpkin pie filling, getting a slight bit of earthiness, but more of that just pumpkin spice aroma. A little bit of like a caramel, bready, brown sugar type of thing too. Maybe a touch of vanilla. Yeah, it's not real boisterous and bold and in your face, but I mean, it has about 3 different spice notes. It smells on the sweeter side, but it smells like it's going to be easy drinking, nothing like over the top. And that's kind of what I expect from this beer. So anyway, let's get into it, everybody. Cheers. Actually, this is pretty heavy on the spices. It's not bad at all. Actually, pretty decent. Solid to some degree. Go back for one more sip. So bite on this one. I thought the body would be really just like super light, almost water-esque. There's a little bit of a syrupy to this one, like a syrupy kind of body and mouthfeel. Not like over the top, but this is drinking like lower side of medium body, almost approaching medium body. Pretty nice. Not super watery me. Yeah, it has a little bit of heft behind it, but not over the, over the top. The mouthfeel, it's very effervescent, very crisp. It's very just spritzy on the palate, dances on the tongue. The taste, kind of more of that pumpkin pie filling, but it's very, to me, very spicy, and the cinnamon's leading the way. I'm almost getting like a like a cinnamon kind of gum kind of character. It doesn't have like bubble gum, but just like a cinnamon you'd experience in like a Big Red or something. It's kind of what I'm getting cinnamon-wise on the taste. Right at the forefront, sweet, bready, brown sugary type of malt character. Pass through the palate, that cinnamon hits. And the cinnamon's kind of dominating the palate for me, kind of pushing the nutmeg and the ginger, which I was getting in the nose kind of to the, you know, back of the palate. There's a decent cinnamon dryness in the middle of the palate. But this one finishes to the sweeter side of things. No bitterness to speak of. Like I said, like a slightly dry cinnamon finish, but this one's a little bit sweeter at 4.4%. I didn't expect it to be, it's not like overly sweet or over the top, but it definitely is sweet to some degree. The finish is relatively clean with just a little bit of that cinnamon type of character hanging around. 4.4%, yeah, you can't taste the alcohol. Yeah, this isn't bad. This isn't bad at all. It's definitely not my favorite pumpkin ale that they've produced in the past. That I think I would like this a little bit more if, to my palate, that cinnamon character wasn't kind of pushing all the rest of the characters underneath it. It's like cinnamon's up here, brown sugar, and then like all the spices are underneath it. Is that a dirt bike? There's a dirt bike outside. All kinds of crazy stuff happening when I'm reviewing beers. And it's... You can probably hear it. I'm just gonna... They're having a blast. Anyway, yeah, that cinnamon character is really big and maybe a bit too big for my palate to enjoy more so than I am. I'm going to have no problem drinking the rest of this one. I think by the end of it, I'm just be like, I'm done with cinnamon for now. But yeah, as is, I don't think it's a bad beer at all. I think it's decent, solid. So I'm going to give Jacko, the 2020 release from Samuel Adams, I'm going to give that a... I'm going to go low 3.5 out of 5. I'm going to go 3.45 out of 5. Not absolutely... Pretty much for me, 3.5 and above, I would probably buy again at some point. Like 3.5 and above is just like, I would definitely buy that at some point in the future. Like it might only happen once again, but I would repurchase it. Just under 3.5 is, I don't think I would necessarily buy this one again just because there's better pumpkin beers out there for me. And I just, you know, I was lucky to find this in a single, but you usually have to get this in, you know, 6-packs are part of their like their beers in the fall mix pack. But yeah, I don't think I'd buy this one again, but I don't think it's bad. So 3.45 out of 5. Price and availability. Everybody should see this one if you see Sam Adams, and most people do. So if you see Sam Adams, you either should have already seen this one or probably still on the shelf. And the price point, I think a 12-pack is like $15.99, and I want to say there were 6 packs of this, maybe not, but the mixed pack that you get this beer in is definitely in my area, $15.99 a 12-pack, so not bad price for what it is. But yeah, I think for me in my area, between this and Saranac, I'd definitely go with the Saranac. And the reason I use those two is because, again, both of those breweries got me into craft beer, some of the first beers I had, and they're always very similarly priced, and availability around here is pretty big. But if you're looking for, like, if you're in New York State, in the West New York area, but New York State, and you see this and you see Saranac, definitely go for the Saranac. I think it has a little bit more robust flavor overall. But this isn't bad. It's just, man, bring back Fat Jack Sam Adams. I want that Imperial Pumpkin Ale. That thing was quite delicious, and I'd love to try that and review that again. So, yeah, anyway, if you have had this one before, let me know what you think about it. Like I said, 3.45 out of 5 I think is a solid and fair score. You know, not the worst pumpkin beer I've had this year, but, you know, nothing that I don't think this is going to blow anybody away. But if it did blow you away and you thought this was amazing, post in the comment section, let me know. I'd love to hear everybody's feedback, whether or not you agree with me or think I'm an idiot or think I'm right on the money. Doesn't matter. Post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it, because I really like to hear what other people's thoughts about this one, because I'm just reviewing these and a lot of people will comment, but if you've had this, post down there. Just say, hey, man, I've had it. This is what I think about it, and I appreciate it. So check back tomorrow for day 9 of the 10 Days of Pumpkin. We are going to be finishing up with a couple interesting beers, I think. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. Till the next one, cheers.